what's up everybody? This is Sultan Labise from DFKB Grappling. I'm here today with my brother Gauthier and he's here to help me demonstrate the technique for you guys from close guard. I believe from close guard there are some basic submissions that every single competitor, no matter if you're a purple belt, white belt, beginner, black belt or any belt level, they must be able to get these submissions from close guard. Okay, so these are the basic submission from close guard. And we're gonna go through the, as my point of view, simplest one. Okay, the most simple is gonna be a Kimura. Okay, so I'm gonna demonstrate the Kimura from close guard. I hope you guys enjoy. So I'm in the close guard. Let's first be like sideways. Yeah, come here, please. Come in my guard. So here's my guard. Okay, and whenever I want to do Kimura on anybody, guys, like let's be more general. If he has his hands on me, this is the right position for him. Whenever you're in somebody's close guard, you don't want your hands to be on the mat. So as you're attacking someone who is in your close guard, your first, concern is to either break their posture or put their hands on the mat. Okay, make them put their hands or post on the mat. And like these two options are related, like breaking somebody's posture and putting them, or forcing them putting their hands on the mat are some kind of way related to each other. Because if I want to break his posture and he put pressure on me with his hands, I can't break his posture. Even if I go through his head, it's hard for me to break his posture. But as soon as I put his hand, I make him put his hands on the mat, now it's going to be easier for me to break his posture, either with the overhook, either with, do like kind of an active guard, or I don't know, maybe get a rubber guard or something. Okay, so my first concern, whenever I'm attacking somebody from close guard, in 95% of situations, is to make them first break the posture and then to make them post their hands on the mat. Okay, so now let's imagine that we're fighting here and for whatever reason he has his hands on me, he wants to put my close guard, stuff like that. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to make him post his hands on the mat. How can I do that? I'm going to come inside. If he has his hands like this, I'm going to come inside. I'm going to just get his hands, I'm going to pull them, or I'm going to like do this, and I'm going to bring him forward, like pull him towards me using my legs and do a high guard, okay, at the same time. So I'm going to do this, look. I'm going to come inside. I'm going to do this, look. Now, I have broken his posture, okay. As soon as he's got his hands on the mat, I'm now good to attack. Okay, please sit on your butt. Sit on your butt. Yeah, I'm now good to attack because he's not gonna be here. He's not gonna be like he was. Come up, come up, come up, come up your butt with your hands in. He's not gonna be like here. Okay, this is a bad situation for him. He's not gonna be able to do anything from here. And actually, I have access to both his underhooks. I can go for a sumigaishi. I can either go to the side scissor and try to attack his back from there. But yeah, so as soon as his hands are on the mat, his first concern is to sit back on his butt. Okay, so this is his first concern, and do that. Do exactly what they did. So I'm gonna break his posture, bring him towards me, and make him post his hands on the mat. Once he has his hands posted on the mat, I'm gonna choose the hand I'm gonna attack. Okay. Now, for the sake of demonstration, let's imagine I'm attacking his his left arm. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab around his wrist. Okay. Now it's his wrist. On his wrist, he's got two bones. I'm going to come around like this crow part of his wrist, and I'm going to grab around his wrist bone, okay? So as soon as I grab this, I'm going to post it on the mat, okay? I'm going to plant his hand on the mat, and I'm not going to let him re-grab it. If he's going to pull out his hand, now it's hard for him. So this is why I'm going to come around his wrist bone, okay? So I'm going to plant his hand on the mat, okay? And as soon as I see this opening, I see this, I have his arm isolated from his body. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to sit up, okay? So I'm going to come up, okay? I'm going to cover over his shoulder with my shoulder, with my armpit, okay? So I'm going to bring my armpit to his shoulder, and I'm going to go around his elbow, okay? Now when I go around his elbow, I'm going to grab my own hand like this, okay? Now, from here, there is a big contradiction between jiu-jitsu instructors. Some instructors, they believe it's better to have this thumb right here. Not like to have your thumb like this. Some people say this is the better position, and I believe it's some kind of way it's easier to grab somebody's wrist like this instead of this, okay? Both works. I believe if you have a good Kimura attacks, you can tap anybody out with Kimura, and it doesn't matter if you have your thumb outside or inside. But yeah, let's demonstrate the way which is more suitable for me, and I think it's easier to demonstrate and easier to get. So I'm gonna plant his hand on the mat. I'm gonna come inside over his shoulder. I'm gonna cover his shoulder with my armpit, and I'm gonna grab my own wrist here. You see, my both thumbs are here. Now you can have your thumbs like this as well. I don't like it because I feel that I can't rotate. I can't rip off his arm. Okay, so I'm gonna be here. Okay. Now what I'm gonna do is the position of this elbow is really important, because if my elbow is open like it is now, it's easy for him to pull out his hand. Pull your hand out. Pull your hand out. Yeah, go. Pull your hand out. You see, it's easy for him to do that. What I'm gonna do is, as soon as I have this, I'm gonna close this. You see, I'm gonna close this gap. This is the most important part. I'm gonna close this gap. Okay. Now try to pull out your arm. It's hard for him now. Okay, because I have closed this space. I have closed my elbow. Now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go flat on my back, okay, like this, and I'm gonna bring his thumb towards his ribs first, okay, like I'm gonna put his thumb right here into his wrist, okay, and this is a good sign for me. If he has his hand here, it's gonna be hard for me to do a Kimura, you know? It's gonna be hard. Yeah, I have maybe a straight arm bars from here. I can either go for the sweeps, stuff like that, but yeah, it's gonna be hard. So you're gonna bring it towards him, and this elbow is closed, okay? Now, once you have it, you have the thumb attached to his ribs, what you're gonna do is you're gonna bring the thumb towards his ear, okay? Or towards his scapula, okay? So you're gonna get this, okay, and you're gonna bring it here, okay. Now the more angle you got on your training partner was okay, the more angle, the better angle you have on your training partner while executing Kimuras, the easier it's gonna be, and the faster it's gonna be for them to tap, okay. So if you're here, you see, I can still get a Kimura. But if I'm here, I have a much better angle of getting a Kimura, okay? Now, to make them tap faster, there is a small detail that you can add, and that's to rotate the wrist, okay? Like the wrist is here. You see when it's gonna tap? Now check this one out. I'm gonna first rotate the wrist, come here, and then I'm gonna do this, okay? So once you rotate the wrist, once you do this, okay, it's gonna be you're gonna need way less time comparing to the time that the wrist is not rotated. Okay, so once you rotate the wrist, and you're gonna do this, you're gonna tap faster. But if the wrist is not rotated, like if you're like this, then you're still gonna tap, and it's gonna be hard. So pay attention to the details. First, try to have a good angle on them. Okay, if you have a good angle on them, it's gonna be easier for them to tap. It's gonna be easier for you to tap them up. Okay, but if you have this angle, still not a problem. You still can get the tap, okay? Just try to bring it here, rotate the wrist, and bring it towards their ear or scapula, okay? So this is it for Kimura, guys. One more time. This is my close guard. My first concern is to bring his posture. I'm gonna make him post on the mat. Maybe I'm gonna do this, maybe I'm gonna do that, maybe I'm gonna bring him, maybe I'm gonna do this, maybe I'm gonna pull, I don't know. It's on you to manage the situation and the hand fighting concepts, okay? So there are some concepts that you're gonna learn through the years that you're training Jiu-Jitsu, okay? The more you train, the more you roll, you're gonna understand how you're gonna open somebody's guard, how you're gonna break somebody's posture, stuff like that. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna post, okay? I'm gonna go under his wrist, I'm gonna open it up, and I'm gonna bring him to me, okay? Now, once he see that I got this, as soon as what he's gonna do, he's gonna sit back on his butt and he's gonna try to pull it out. Now I'm gonna grab the wrist bone, I'm gonna plant it, I'm gonna post it, okay? on the mat, and as soon as the hand is planted on the mat, I'm gonna come over, okay, his armpit, I'm gonna close my elbow, grab my own wrist, both elbows are close to my body. Now I'm gonna come here, okay? Now here you can get an angle on him. If you get the angle on your training partner, it's better. Now to make them tap faster, you just rotate their wrist, bring it up. This is tap, okay? Thank you. So this is it, guys, for Kimura. So don't forget that Kimura is a very powerful submission. Don't underestimate the Kimura. And not even talking about the submitting aspect of Kimura, that you can tap somebody's out, some people out with Kimura. Kimura is a very good control. It's a very good controlling position. You can get somebody's arm in Kimura grip even if they're on your back. You can get somebody's on a Kimura grip when they're passing your guard. You can get Kimura grip from mount. You can get Kimura grip from side control. And it's not only for submitting people. It gives you so much power to make good transitions. You can use Kimura to get somebody's back, okay? You can get Kimura to switch to an armbar. So once you have a Kimura locked on somebody, once you have a good Kimura grip on somebody, they can't just continue to fight you back without having any concern of their arm, okay? Because if they don't pay attention to their arm, at some point, you're gonna rip off the arm, you're gonna break their grip, and you're gonna rotate the arm and you're gonna enter the shoulder and make them tap, okay? So don't underestimate Kimura. It's such an easy submission, but demands some good timing, and the detail is to really close your elbows. Don't be like this with your elbows. This is not a Kimura. They can pull off their arm, okay? Pull off their arm. So if you have a Kimura, try to close this space with your elbows, okay? Thank you, guys. I hope you enjoy. Thank you, Gautier, for helping me.